Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. On this episode, I'm going to be installing pegboard that I got for free using Facebook Marketplace, and I'm going to be installing a 1/2 inch top to my tool chest. Let's go. Now the reason why I'm adding a 1/2 inch top to my tool chest is when I was designing the miter saw station on SketchUp, I designed it so my tool chest will receive a 1/2 inch top, so it'll be flush with the top of the miter saw station. Now the first thing that I need to figure out is how far I want the tool chest from the wall, and that was 28 inches. Once I figure that out, I'm going to mark 28 inches on the MDF. I'm going to be using my drywall square so I can make a line all the way across on the MDF. I'm going to be doing that because it'll make it easier for me to line up my correct jig in order to make this cut. And using the circular saw with the correct jig is just the easiest way that I found to make this this cut. You could always follow the line, but that makes it a lot harder. Once I make the cut, I'm going to be placing the MDF on top of the tool chest just to make sure that everything is fitting correctly the way that I want it to be. Once I make sure that's happening, I'm going to be joining the tool chest with the MDF with double-sided tape. Now this is not the strongest double-sided tape out there, but I don't want it to be a permanent joint. I just want to be able to pull this out if I ever need to, so I am just going to be using this double-sided tape. The next step is to cut the back support of the pegboard. Now I'm going to be using 1/2 inch OSB because it was given to me for free with the pegboard. And same as before, I'm going to make a mark at 46 inches, and using my square I'm going to extend that line. And to make the cut, I'm going to be using my crosscut sled. Even though my crosscut sled is about 5 years old, it's still making accurate cuts. For the next step, I'm going to be ripping the OSB to 1.5 inches. Now for the bottom part of the frame, for the pegboard, I'm going to cut it at 2 inches. I'm just going to be doing that because if I need to move the pegboard, I want to have more places for me to drive in a screw. Now if you're still here with me on this part of the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now once I cut everything to width, I'm going to be installing the bottom part of the frame. Now for the bottom part of the frame, I'm going to be screwing everything from the bottom with 2 screws. I just gotta do that just to make sure that the bottom part is going to be secured to the frame of the pegboard. Now with the stud locations already marked on the wall, I'm going to be driving in 2 screws on the edge of the OSB, and I will be pre-drilling and countersinking the holes just so the screws are not going to be rotating outside of the OSB and causing problems with the pegboard. And yeah, I'm going to be repeating the same step throughout this whole frame. That's going to be the back support for the pegboard. Now I'm going to be using a square just to make sure that everything's going square, but at this point I don't need it to be perfect. I'm going to be installing a frame around it, so if there's any imperfections, the frame is going to hide it. And yeah, this is a shot of the finished frame. Now next, I'm going to be cutting the pegboard to size, which is going to be 46 inches. And I'm going to be doing that same method, mark it, extend the line with my square, and using my correct jig with my circular saw, I'm going to make the cut. I found that this correct AccuCut correct jig, it's easier to use, it's easy to use, and yeah, it's not as expensive as a truck saw. Next, I'm going to be securing the pegboard to the frame using drywall screws. Hopefully that makes it secure enough. Not to worry about it, because I'm going to be adding a frame around the pegboard, which is going to be secured by 18 gauge nails, and I think that's going to be plenty enough. Now I'm going to be cutting the strips for the frame. I'm going to be using the leftover MDF from the bench top, and I'll cut them to 2.5 inches. And because this is leftover MDF, there's some paint marks that I did for my project. I'm gonna be sanding them down so they're not gonna be visible. And on this project, I wanted to try to do a stain on MDF. I've never done that before, but I see no reason why it wouldn't work. Now, if you have any suggestions, or if I'm doing something wrong, or is it a different way to do the same thing that I'm doing but better, leave them in the comment section below. I am just a DIYer, so any feedback would be appreciated. Now, I don't think I mentioned this before, but I'm going to be uploading videos at least once a week, just in case you want to follow me on my shop progress. Now here you can see the paint that was left from the past projects that I used this MDF for. I'm going to be using my sander, but this is MDF, so it's going to do a lot of dust. So I just taped my shop back to the sander, and that seemed to control the dust, at least better than without it. Now I did do a test piece before I painted all of them, and they came out pretty good, so I decided to just pretty much do all of them. And the main reason why I'm using this stain is because it was just left over, and it was just, I don't know, sitting there, so yeah, decided to use it, and they came out pretty good. Now, to avoid as much measuring as I can, I'm going to start with the bottom part, and then I'm gonna do the top one. I'll make sure that it's level and plumb, and then once I do both of those pieces, I'm going to just use the wood itself and mark it to so I don't have to do any type of measuring. So here I'm showing you what I mean. I'm just gonna put the piece to the top, and then with the marker I'm gonna mark it on the bottom, and then with a square I'm gonna basically extend the line, and yeah, my pencil broke. And using my miter saw and my newly built miter station, I'm going to make that cut. And the end result is a piece that is flush with the bottom without having to measure anything. And I'm just gonna follow the same process for the other side of the frame. And then I'll just make sure that it is flush with the bottom piece, and then I'm gonna drive one nail from the bottom, and then with the level, I'll make sure that it's nice and level. I'm not showing that in the video, but I did that with every other piece as well. And yeah, this is the end result. Now I think that the actual frame made it look a lot better than just the pegboard itself. And my goal for this project was to not spend any money on it, really. Like I said, I got everything for free off of Facebook Marketplace. The USB, the pegboard. The only thing that I did have to buy were the actual pegs, but that was like, I don't know, like $10 off on Amazon. So that wasn't bad. Thank you for watching. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.